let's go ahead and get started. I guess we can get started first with the regular updates. Wanted to call out some of the new highlights in Daft. Let's see, what is our released version of Daft right now? We're about to release today as well, but the latest one is 0.2.28. Um, some really nice things, and we had a lot of GCS and Azure support, like Google and Azure support come in. Courtesy of Mim Jala, who's our big fan on Twitter, and he's always like trying all these random things with Google and Azure. And so now we support authentication for GCS with manual passing in of credentials to GCS. And then we also support reading and writing from Azure and Iceberg sitting in Azure Blob Store, which is interesting, courtesy of Kevin. That's great. Some IO updates. We actually had some really big wins on our Parquet reading again, and we're actually running in Amazon right now on like petabytes of data a day, and with like no issues whatsoever, which is really cool. Mostly because of this one thing that Samsung 25 put in, right? Um, it's retrying on streaming errors, and now we're like super stable when reading petabytes of Parquet data from AWS S3, which is I'm super excited about because yeah, we've been working on this for a couple of months now, and I think at this point we only have I think one in like 14 billion files that have any issues being read from S3, which is incredible. Um, and then yeah, we have public Delta Lake writer that came in too, also from Kevin. Very cool stuff. Now we have read write from Iceberg and read write from Delta, which is incredible. And then the last thing is Databricks dropped Unity Catalog during the Databricks Summit, and we had day zero support for reading from Unity Catalog, which is very exciting. We're very excited about the Unity Catalog project and are working very closely with Databricks both on the Delta Lake front and also on the Unity Catalog front. So these are all the IO updates. And then lastly, I guess we have some kernels that came in and new types. We have fixed size binaries, which will be super useful for things like hashes. So we're starting to undertake a lot of hashing workloads as well to power a lot of new types of multimodal data that require hashing and clustering. And so we had a new fixed size binary type land last week. And lastly, as the last update, some nice quality of life improvements if you're using Daft with Ray. Daft will now automatically recognize that, hey, you initialize the Ray context and it will automatically use the Ray runner, which there were a lot of users that were complaining about, oh, it's like kind of weird that you have to initialize it still after doing Ray already. And so yeah, a lot of nice quality of life updates here. You can check out the PR as well. But yeah, TLDR, if you're using Daft on Ray, that interoperability now is like super nice, and you no longer have to initialize them separately. Um, that's it for our kind of highlights of Daft over the last month. But really, the team has been putting a lot of work into this, what we call Project Swordfish, which I think Colin will be able to go through in a little bit. Yeah, I guess I'll give a quick introduction, I guess, to Colin. So Colin's, a regular member on this contributor sync. Sammy's on the call as well. And they'll be able to walk us through some of the literature that we've been reading about how DuckDB is so fast, things like data fusion, and what are some of the planned work for Daft's new execution model, and also just generally educate us on like, yeah, what is an execution model, how do all these engines work overall, and where is Daft heading?